Commodore for the 78th Hutchinson J.C.'s Water Carnival. I'm joined by my wife and what we call our first mate, Laura Beach. And we're doing this video because this year we were unable to host a live pageant or a live coronation because of the pandemic facing our community and our country at this time. We've officially postponed the 78th Water Carnival. We are still hosting and offering some events that we hope the community can enjoy. And we thought this video might be a way to still bring some of the elements of the pageant and the coronation to the community, even though we're not able to do that as we had originally planned. With taking this role, we expected our biggest challenge to be the Highway 15 construction on Main Street here in Hutchinson, and that has certainly changed, to say the least. What's been especially challenging about the health pandemic is the speed at which everything has changed in our society. We were really looking forward to trying to expand and improve our Kitty Day or Community Day event. We wanted to grow that event and really kind of reinvigorate it and just make it a little bit more open to the entire community versus the younger demographics.
I think that was the one thing we kind of had really jumped into earlier in the season, so it was kind of probably the biggest disappointment to have to cancel it for safety.
Yeah, so connecting and building relationships in this time it's difficult, there's no doubt about it.
This year, as the crisis and the pandemic began to evolve, we reached out to other community festivals. Laura in particular was able to interact with a lot of the volunteers in those communities to talk about what they were planning to do or how they were planning to work around all of the guidelines and restrictions that we now face. So.
We've utilized Zoom, email, phone, that type of thing. Lots of Zoom conference calls. I'll be honest with you, I'm getting a little tired of doing that, but I think what's been great is the existing relationships we've had with all the committee members, and the different businesses in the community have been great, and those existing relationships allowed us to really start to plan something we didn't know if was going to happen.
Basically a virtual reality of life. Vivid Image offered to help out with a lot of different, how can we make any event a virtual event, which was really cool, and Nuvera had options as well. So it was really neat to see what Hutchinson businesses offer to make life accessible. So that was really cool for us.
We've known John and Laura for a long time too, so it's easy to talk to them, and we can shoot a text message back and forth real quick, and the conversation about postponing this year wasn't an easy one to have.
All 8 of our candidate sponsors have been a part of this process throughout, and I've reached out to them on several occasions to talk about what we were planning and what we were still trying to do. And we've always felt like virtually anything would be possible despite the difficulties that we faced.
I think what we're going to be working on this year, obviously with COVID and everything that's happened, things have changed this year. Obviously we're postponing it, but our glass is half full. Gives us a lot more time to work on planning different events, hopefully adding maybe some other events, reorganizing.
I guess for me, for 2021, I guess to reinstate Water Carnival in a sense, just to remind the community that we're all here to celebrate everybody in the community, and the Hutchinson getting through everything we had and putting it with bells on and having a great time next year, to say we all made it.
Well, what I'm most looking forward to next year in 2021 is kind of coming at it with a fresh start. Hopefully the committee will be ready to come up with some new ideas and make it a really fun year.
Why did you decide to run for Miss Hutchinson?
Well, I was asked to run for Miss Hutchinson actually, because I think we're low on candidates that year, which is sad because it really is an amazing opportunity to have. But I got to watch my sister run a couple of years ago, and that was very special to watch her receive a crown. And I just saw the relationships that she made with the people in the community as well as the JCs.
What made you decide to run for Junior Commodore?
It sounded fun.
Julia, what made you to decide to run for Junior Queen this past year?
Well, it just looked really fun, and my dad helped with the JC Water Carnival, so I knew it was going to be really fun.
What was your reaction to hearing your name chosen as Mr. Hutchinson?
It was a complete surprise and a shock. Listening to John Beach describe someone who had a background like me, coming from western Minnesota and in the Navy, I thought there must be somebody in this audience that's just like me, never thinking it really was me.
Well, actually, they did tell me earlier, my daughter Barb, she was a little concerned in my family, you know, that it might be quite a bit of a shock for me. So I think it's good that they did let me know ahead of time.
After your name was announced, what is the first thing that you did?
I bent over and I whispered in your ear, "I'm going to kill you for this."
And at first, you know, I was hesitant because, well, to be truthful, I didn't want to be shown going across the stage with my walker. I'm having a hard time, I guess, accepting the fact that I've now reached that century mark. Thankful for it all, but no, I didn't I was thrilled.
What do you recall about Water Carnival weekend?
A lot. There are so many great memories from that time. I definitely think that being a candidate was one of the best experiences I've had of my life. I enjoyed having teddy bear band with the kids, and everyone just treats you like you're a princess or a queen.
Getting to know all the other candidates and being friends with all of them, it was just a really fun experience.
It was busy. There were so many activities, and it just seemed like that Barb was my daughter. My daughter was my good companion, and we just kept going from one event to another and enjoyed every one of them.
So many events taking place, and I'm new to this honor, so as an old guy, I'm used to going to bed by 10 o'clock. And Maxine, my Woman of the Year, just kept on rolling. In fact, all year it was like that, hard to keep up with Maxine.
I think a specific memory I have is actually being here in the Days Inn and getting ready with everyone for pageant. We were all kind of freaking out, but we were also supportive of each other. So that was very special during candidate week. And just getting to know the girls who ran was extra special for that particular time.
When I was a junior royalty candidate, it was fun because I got to compete with 3 other people.
Which Water Carnival events would you consider your favorites, or what were you looking forward to the most this year, or perhaps for next year now?
Well, pageant is always super fun. I actually didn't attend a pageant until my twin sister was in one, but now that I've attended them, I will probably try to attend them every single year. It's definitely a highlight of the year for me.
I loved all of the events, but I personally loved the Grand Day Parade. Being a part of the royal family.
That's an easy question. I love the parades, and I had one brother and a family. They lived in Osceola, Iowa, and every year they would make the trip to come to be here for the Water Carnival festivities, and we always had our place right down on Main Street, and I love the parades.
We work leading up to the week, we work during the week when we can, but then we also get that time. I've always enjoyed bringing my kids to the teddy bear band and Kitty Day, watching fireworks with them. So it's just those fun memories that they have, and it's worth it. You know, it pays off in the end to have the fun too.
The Father's Day fireworks have always been fun. I've always watched those as a kid. The Grand Day Parade is super fun. I've loved being in it and watching it. Visiting the assisted living homes is always a great time for me.
Lots of good memories.
What have you been up to as a Junior Commodore this last year?
I've attended a lot of parades and events. Well, I have been going to parades, going to different towns, meeting new people, and eating Laura's cookies.
Oh, eating Laura's cookies. You mean the first mate, Laura Beach?
Yes.
Yes, they are pretty delicious.
The past year has really been incredible with our royal family. We were a part of a wonderful royal family the year before. As we moved into this year with the royal family that was considered our own royal family, that was equally special and possibly even more so in a lot of ways. And just getting to know everyone better, spending time with them, going to events together.
What are some favorite memories?
It is hard to pick just one, but during the candidate week of Water Carnival, it was so much fun to go into the assisted living homes and interact with the residents of Hutchinson and the residents that live there. They're so excited about Water Carnival every single year.
When you're on the sidelines in what we call the sparkle section, seeing the family and getting to know everybody, and all the kids are running around creating complete chaos, and the families just talk and visit and eat, which is always fun. But it's always fun, and everyone cheering and coming together to support the float as it passes by. It's invigorating, and it's really fun, and the families are fabulous.
Something that was exciting was I went to the Hutchinson Fair to sell tickets and went bungee jumping.
My favorite memories are learning really how many friends I had, and then calling my name and commenting me and congratulating me, especially at work at the hospital. People come up to me and want to talk to me, and it made me feel real special. It was real hard to get my work done.
It's hard to choose one. It just seemed like every parade was fun. The JCs were wonderful about entertaining us either before or after.
I'm wondering if anything funny or exciting happened to you this year during the Water Carnival events.
Well, I would always forget my water bottle on the float, so I would have my sister go up and grab it for me sometimes.
I see. So you were a little embarrassed that you forgot it every single time?
We did run into the massive downpour at the Spicer Parade. That was interesting, but we made it through. There was a 2-hour delay of the parade. And of course, going into Cokato, the right rear tire on the float blew. So that took some fancy footwork to get the tires switched around. And you are required to be in your parade slot a certain amount of time before, and we barely slid in there, but we made it.
One particular memory that stands out for me was the Hutchinson Holiday Parade. We had been in Arlington the weekend prior, and it was extremely cold. We had wind chills that I think were below zero. I was less and less excited about being outside in the cold again, so I called Robert Hunke from Hunke Funeral Chapel, and he immediately agreed to let us use his limousine. So we went from being outside on a float to being in a limousine for a parade, and that was really fun. We were able to surprise the royal family with that.
What was your favorite parade?
The Arlie Dazzle Parade, because it had a lot of colorful lights. I loved all the parades, but I really liked the Arlie Dazzle Winter Light-Up Parade.
Ooh, tell us about it. What was so special about Arlie Dazzle?
Well, my dad has an office in Arlington, so we hung out there and drank hot chocolate, and it was just a really fun parade.
Anything that surprised you over this last year?
I definitely was surprised at the amount of connections I've made with other communities as well as within our own. I had never heard of, for example, Joe and Max before, but now knowing them, I realized how special they are and how much of this community absolutely loves them. So those are definitely some special connections I've made, and I'm surprised at how realistic it is that being a part of the royal family really is like a second family. That really shocks me.
Do you know the big surprise, really, the number of people that would turn out for the parades? I was just so surprised.
There's two things that really surprised me. At the Minneapolis Aquatennial, Hutchinson Erin Westland was chosen to be princess, and we are all very proud of her and congratulate her.
And of course, I guess what was fun for me, when we went to the Litchfield Parade, I had so many people call out and say, "Hey Max, wave to me." Same thing in Glencoe, and I thought, oh my, you know, some of my friends from Hutchinson had gone to the parades around town too, but that would have to be a highlight.
Well, my other surprise was a complete surprise on a car parade for my 80th birthday by the royal family and by my neighbors and friends. It was the best birthday ever.
Have you had fun being part of the royal family?
Yes, I have had so much fun. And it was a really good experience. Yes, because they're nice people.
There again, I can't pick any one thing because it's been just wonderful. The whole year has been absolutely fantastic.
Oh, it's really fun. Just the connections that we've made, it really is like a second family to me. I know I have someone that I can use for a reference as a job if I need to talk to someone about something personal.
Well, I have a relatively small family, and as a member of the royal family, I gained a much larger family, and I especially enjoyed the children.
The people involved in my royal family, they're much, much younger than I am, but they treat me like one of the crowd. And thankfully, I guess I've been able to keep up with them so far. But I've just thoroughly enjoyed every minute of being Woman of the Year.
I have a large group of people who are behind me to support me, and I'm glad that I can be that way for other people in our royal family too. For example, Abby and I are constantly talking about her journey in Iowa right now. We miss her very much, but it's fun to catch up with her all the time, and it's fun to run into Julia and Javier, our young little Commodore and Queen. So it's just super special, and I know that those memories will last for a lifetime.
For us, we first moved here in 2003, and at that time we got involved with the JCs initially and then with the Water Carnival Committee, and it really became the way that we've initially gotten to know a lot of the people that we consider our closest friends now, and we felt very much accepted by and included in the community as we got more involved with those two organizations.
I think the reason that we got involved with the royal family was probably started 7 years ago when we began in the JCs. We were kind of blindsided by what everybody does in this program, which was really cool to see. Gets put together and organized is pretty fascinating, and somebody's got to do it. So
the JCs work to make our town better. The Water Carnival accentuates it and creates a little bit more fun for the summer. And I think if you can provide great things for the kids and for the community, why wouldn't you? You want to always invest in the community that you live in.
What would you tell other people who had never visited our city about Hutchinson?
That it's a nice and safe place. The community is a really great community, and I love all the people that go over their way to celebrate our city festival.
Hutchinson's a very progressive city. My husband and I moved here in 1956. It was a town of 5,000 people then, and we must be close to 15,000 now.
I think for me, what I love about Hutchinson is I'm from an incredibly small town, and you come to Hutchinson and you think it's a metropolis, but we have such a small town heart and feel, and the people are committed just as they would be in a very small town. I think we're committed to making the business succeed, helping people who are ill, anything to overcome those things. I think we tie together really well. So.
Well, I would definitely say that our leader of the JCs is extremely special and something that not a lot of towns have.
But I think the biggest aspect of our community is definitely the people. The people that are involved with the committee are awesome people. Some of our best friends are part of the committee, and that's really what's made it a really fun thing to be a part of.
I consider the people who work so many hours promoting our city, and especially the volunteers.
And it's been growing and developing. I think we have a wonderful downtown. I like it very much when people support our downtown. A lot of building in Hutch. I'm amazed at the number of new homes, new apartments.
Hutchinson actually speaks for itself around the state. I find that whenever we're at a parade, people just kind of reach out like, oh, you're from Hutchinson, I've seen your Queens in Aquatennial, or I've driven through town and you have such beautiful parks, your river is amazing. And I think Hutchinson as a community does speak for itself with that, so it's kind of fun to be able to promote it.
I think we're very blessed to have the community that we do. I know like when I walk into Walmart or Cashwise, I can't go more than 5 feet without running into someone I know, and I always have a great conversation. So I think that sense of community is just super special, as well as having the beautiful landscape that we do here on the Crow River with the Loose Line Trail.
To me, I don't think you could find a better place to live than Hutchinson, Minnesota.
What are you gonna miss most about this year's experience?
I'm gonna miss everything about it, to be completely honest. I mean, the connections that I've made have just been absolutely outstanding, and the difference that I see in our community being in a leadership standpoint is really amazing. Being a part of the royal family has been such a special experience, and I honestly wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
I would have to say the contact with people, the royal family, and I guess you could say I like a lot of activity in my life. I love to be with people, with my friends, with my family, and I will miss that.
I will miss the royal family and the fun at all the events. We had so much fun no matter what the weather, if it was 103 degrees at Winthrop or if it was raining cats and dogs at Spicer. We all took it in stride and we all had fun.
All right, so why should a candidate consider running?
So they can have fun. It's a really, really fun experience. You can meet so many other kids and just have fun.
I think there are lots of reasons that a candidate should consider running for Miss Hutchinson, particularly the ability to grow your job skills, your interview skills, your public speaking skills in such a low-stress environment. I think it makes it really easy to practice and get feedback on those things without something really being at stake. And at the same time, there is a scholarship involved with receiving a Miss Hutchinson Crown or a Hutchinson Princess Crown, which I know is super helpful for anyone looking to pursue a college career. And I think it's something that is very special to girls when they do receive that and they have that on their resume.
What advice would you give the next Mr. Hutchinson?
Look forward to making new friends and memories. It will be a great experience.
I suppose I would have to say, you be sure and eat a healthy diet and get plenty of sleep and everything so you can live another year to fill in again. Winding down my year as the Woman of the Year chosen by the Hutchinson JCs for 2019, I wanted to share some thoughts with you. They say if you live long enough, you could revert to your childhood. Since I've now lived a century, I might even be going back to a baby stage. I like to drink out of a bottle, red or white, doesn't make any difference, or even a keg. My eyes don't always focus right. I jump at a loud noise. I wiggle and squirm when I'm flirting with a handsome young man. I like to be cuddled and caressed and fussed over by an older man. I like to smile. I like to giggle. I like to see people happy and having a good time. Sometimes it seems that nobody understands what I'm trying to say. I sleep like a baby, wake up every 2 hours and cry. At some stage, I might even have to wear overnight garments. Fortunately, at this stage of my life, I still have a clear mind, all my faculties, and so many blessings. One of the biggest was being named Woman of the Year by the wonderful Hutchinson JCs. There's no way I could ever thank them enough for this honor or congratulate them enough for all they do for our community. What a great year it was. All the parades, social gatherings, the love and the attention given to me. I've treasured it, and I will continue to treasure every one of them. To borrow a line from when I did my radio and TV programs, I will say, this is Maxine Engel saying bye for now.
Representing our community this past year as Mr. Hutchinson, has been a fun-filled time that I will always remember. It has been such an honor, and I treasure the memories. During the same year, we heard the news of Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan transitioning out of the British royal family, stepping back from their royal duties. I was so honored to be part of the JC royal family, and now it is my time to transition out. Thank you for the care and kindness shown to me, my wife Joanne, and son Brendan. I truly consider as family the people I came to know. Commodore John and First Mate Laura, Vice Commodore Chad and First Mate Betsy, Queen Erica, Princess Abby, Junior Queen Julia, Junior Commodore Javier, Woman of the Year Maxine, and each of their families. These are a few of the highlights as the royal family presented Hutchinson at various community events. As the Spicer Parade began, so did the rain. 1.62 inches of rain to be exact. The Hutchinson unit was a boat pulled by a crew cab. As the parade progressed, the boat contained only water, but the cab held 8 people. I was surrounded by so much beauty, and I didn't mind the rain at all. The Coqueto Corn Carnival Parade became a challenge when a tire blew under the float. We were unable to change the tire, and First Mate Laura successfully maneuvered the unit to the end of the parade with 3 wheels instead of 4 wheels. Good job, Laura. I was the first Mr. Hutchinson to ride a Segway. This was a unique way to connect with kids along the parade route. I also encountered an intoxicated man who insisted that he wanted to ride the Segway. I believe I was also the first Mr. Hutchinson to have an unfortunate encounter with the Hutchinson police. My wife made an appointment for me to have an official photo taken. We were unfamiliar with the building or the location of the suite. No one was available there to ask, so we walked on both sides of the building, looking for the correct door. Suddenly alarms began to sound when we tried a door. My wife said, "I know the police will come." And it was a hot afternoon and I was wearing a suit, so we stood beside our car and we waited. Pretty soon 3 patrol vehicles arrived with lights flashing and blocked the driveway. And you should know that my dad was a highway patrolman for 32 years, and this was an uncomfortable situation for me. Thank goodness my dad was not there. We tried explaining our purpose for being there and said, "This is Mr. Hutchinson," pointing out the hat and the name tag. Our purpose was a photo session rather than burglarizing a business. The officers were not impressed. They just pointed, saying, "Stay by your car." We can laugh now, but it was serious at the time. After the squad cars left, we sat in the car for a time, looking eastward. We noticed a police car was in another location, still observing us. We never did have that photo session. I extend best wishes and congratulations to my successor and sincerely thanks my royal family and all involved with this great community event. Your work makes us all proud to be residents of Hutchinson.